Grenada, may God bless you. Grenada, may God bless you. The gem of the Caribbean, struck by Hurricane Ivan. The skies is blue in the wind and the people all started to scream.
On August 23rd, Hurricane Katrina surfaced as a tropical depression over the Bahamas. 2 days later, it had grown into a Category 1 hurricane and hit Florida. By the time it reached the Gulf of Mexico, Katrina gained strength from the warm waters.
It's another Explore Carriacou and Pitmatnik. And we want to say thank you to our viewers for joining in. It's another interview in the United States. Basie, are you there?
I am here, loud and clear.
Lovely.
And we're ready to go.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. So, we are in Georgia. Basie, how did the Georgia song go?
It's
Georgia
on my mind.
You have to put in that deep voice.
Georgia on my mind.
Of course. Yes, Georgia on our mind, and we are in Georgia. So, on our trip to the United States, we have done, this is our fourth interview. The first one, we did it from Brooklyn with Mr. Merrill Prime. He spoke about growing up in the village of Belvedere, Limley. Bel-Air. Second one was with our godmother, Mrs. Louisa Primus in Long Island. She always comment. Louisa viewing from Shirley, right? That was another great one. She spoke about growing up in Carriacou and how she and her family gives back to the island. The third one we did, and you must look at that one to all of you who are viewing this, is with Miss Norma Joseph. Miss Norma Joseph. Tanti Norma. She said, don't call me Norma Joseph, but call me Tanti Norma. She's 87 years old. Oh my God. She spoke a book. She's a walking encyclopedia. And if you haven't viewed that, as I just said, you need to look at it. And now we are in Georgia, as we say, and you're viewing this face, you're like, no, I don't know this face. I lived so many years in Carriacou, but I don't know, huh? No, you would not, because she was not born in Carriacou. She married into Carriacou. Right, so her name is Naomi Bain. Let me see if I got it correct.
Yeah, you got it correct.
Give me a sign.
Oh, my bad.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome to Carriacou. Because now everyone in Carriacou will be seeing you.
Hi, Carriacou.
And Petit Martinique too.
And Petit
Petit Martinique.
Petit Martinique.
Yeah, there we go.
Right.
Hi.
Grenada on a hold.
Yes.
Grenada on the map. Hey, y'all. I'm Georgia.
Were you born in Georgia?
No, I was not. I was born in Louisiana.
Yeah. The first thing we're going to find out from her, how she knew about Carriacou. What does she know about Carriacou? And we are in the hurricane season. Many of our islands, even Grenada, we were affected by Ivan. And yesterday is the anniversary of a devastating hurricane, Hurricane Katrina. It is one that is on the map of major hurricanes and most devastating hurricanes in the world. So we'll come to that part just now, but first we're going to speak about Carriacou. I mean, we're not going to do an interview without speaking about home sweet home.
Oh, God.
How are you, dear?
Good.
You're good?
Yes.
Excited?
I'm excited.
And relaxed?
I'm relaxed.
And ready to tell the people, what do you know about Carriacou? Oh, first of all, you should tell us who you're married to.
I am married to a Bain. I am married to the son. His father's name is Norris Bain. Norris is from Grenada, and my mother-in-law is Miranda Matheson, who's from Carriacou.
Everyone knows her as Auntie
Mayan.
So Auntie Mayan, that's Neil's aunt. So that is the sister of his mom, Sylvia.
Yeah.
Right? So everyone knows Sean, yeah? And it's, you viewing this, you know the nephew of Sylvia named Sean? Yeah, that's a husband. Straight from the guava.
Yes.
Right? So what have Sean been telling you about Carriacou?
We need to go. We need to go.
You've never visited?
I never visited, but I've seen pictures, and it's such a beautiful place. Look like to visit, to live. I will come. I will come. Y'all will see my face soon. I promise you.
Did they tell you it's pretty safe and anything about the traditions?
Very cultural.
Lovely.
Very cultural. Very family oriented. Y'all cook. Do a lot of cooking, and y'all grow y'all own foods and stuff, and yeah, all that good stuff right there.
I guess you're coming
And
out for Christmas.
and cousin Neil plays in the band and stuff out there, and goes around to everybody's house singing around the holiday.
Yeah.
Yes,
And you're gonna come for that one day?
yes,
For
I
Christmas?
will. Absolutely,
Looking forward, fingers crossed, that she'll be visiting Carriacou very, very soon.
absolutely.
And people will be looking out for you, I mean, they'll be looking forward to seeing you in Carriacou.
Yeah.
So, you can't chicken out on it.
No, not at all.
Oh boy.
See you this year?
I'll be there.
See you this year?
Yes. Lord's will.
So hopefully you'll be seeing Naomi in Carriacou and Petit Martinique as well, because she cannot come to Carriacou without us bringing her to Petit Martinique, the sister island, right? So Naomi, as I said, we are in the hurricane season, and it is the anniversary, or well, yesterday. Hurricane passed in New Orleans on the 29th of August 2005. That's 18 years ago. I mean, how was it? Did you all prepare for the hurricane? I know in Grenada, whenever they say that a hurricane is coming, a lot of us say, oh, well, G for Grenada, G for God, so the hurricane will not pass. And sometimes we become complacent, we do not get prepared for it. How was it? Did you all prepare for Katrina? I mean, you and your family?
Okay, so no, we did not, because the first few storms that were previous days before Katrina, they were supposed to hit New Orleans, but they veered off and went the other way. So when the Katrina storm came, we were just like, okay, this is going to do the same thing that the other storms did. Lo and behold, that didn't happen, and we didn't have enough time to get out. So we got stuck and left behind. And so, yeah, we just stayed there and rode it out.
I guess it's the same story like us, because even, well, I think that, well, yeah, that was the year after Ivan. So I remember it vividly. I was like, oh my God, we went into Ivan 2004, because I was in Grenada then, living in Grenada then, and it was terrible for us. And then the following year, it was Katrina.
Yes.
And I think I remember them saying, okay, the storm, it was, well, it started as a depression. I think it was close to the Bahamas, and then it built up into a storm. It fast within a matter of hours, and then it was sort of moving easterly. And when it got close to Miami, I believe it was a Category 1, and then it went to a major hurricane within just a matter of days. Between the 23rd depression and the 29th, it was a major hurricane,
Yes.
Category 5. I think it was around 170.
170?
Yes,
Could have
170.
been.
Yeah,
Possibly. Yes.
yeah. I mean, and then I think they said again it was going to another direction. It was going to another direction, and then it didn't make the turn it was supposed to make, and then it came straight into New Orleans.
Yeah.
Like that one, it came for y'all.
And mind you, New Orleans is at the mouth of the Mississippi. So New Orleans is built like a bowl. So when it floods, the water just drains right in. You understand? But the place that was impacted the most was the Lower Ninth Ward. And there is where the levees broke. And the levees there, if I could explain it for the people of Carriacou, the levees are the tall walls that keep the water from going into the city. So it's almost like a dam. So when the levees broke, all the water just started pouring into the lower ninth ward of the city, and that's the part that I was telling you that got impacted the most. So it flooded, and I don't remember how much they said, how many feet of water it was, but it was tall enough to cover like housetops.
I think
So-
it probably went up to maybe 20 something feet.
Yeah, it was a high water surge.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
yeah.
So what was the name of this, well, where you live?
During that time, I was living on the West Bank of New Orleans. That was called Algiers.
Algiers.
Yes, Algiers.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So that's where the hurricane took you. I mean, I know you say you didn't prepare for it.
I
So
didn't.
did you stay there or you went somewhere else?
No, I went to my mother's. My mother's lived not far from Algiers. She lived in Gretna, which is on the same bank. It's called the West Bank. So my mother lived in Gretna, Louisiana, and I lived in Algiers. And I went to Gretna with my 3 kids. I was pregnant at the time. And I went to Gretna to my mother's to stay there to ride the storm out.
Okay. So you sort of prepared because you left your house thinking
Yes, I left my
bad
house.
may happen.
Yeah.
Why did you choose to go by your mom and not stay at your house? So
Because I was there alone with 3 kids.
okay.
Yeah.
So you just wanted to be with mommy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Always, always.
Yes. And that was the best move
Uh-huh.
I could have made. So yes.
So how was the experience for y'all at the house?
It was me, my mom, my brother, and my 3 babies, and it was scary. It was very scary because we were there with no lights, no water, and it was just very quiet after the storm happened. It just was like the storm sucked all the life out of the air.
So what about during the storm? What did you see? What did you hear?
During the storm, believe it or not, and this comes from my mother. During the storm, I was asleep.
Uh-huh. Oh, so nothing happened to your mom's house?
Nothing happened to my mom's house except a broken window.
Oh,
mind
thank
you,
God.
yes, mind you, on that side of the river was mostly wind damage and rain. But on the opposite side in New Orleans in the lower ninth ward is where they got everything. The wind, the rain, the flooding. So, yes.
Okay, so the other side of the Mississippi got the worst of it?
Yes.
So that's where it flooded out and everything.
Yes.
And did anything happen to your house? I mean, any regrets of you going to your mom and probably not staying at your house? Did anything happen to it?
Yes, my roof collapsed at my house, and I'm glad I did go to my mother's house because had I been there, who knows if the roof would have collapsed on me and my kids. So my roof did collapse at my house in Algiers, and it rained all in the house, and it molded and mildewed everything. So nothing was, I was not able to salvage anything.
Oh my God.
So everything was
it's like starting a new life.
starting all over. Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
I mean, and then another thing after the hurricane, I mean, you said it wasn't that bad during the hurricane, but I remember with us in Grenada, we couldn't get stuff to eat, so
Yes.
water, clean water to drink, to have a shower, and we couldn't
Right.
get these things, electricity. How was it for you all after the hurricane?
It was about the same. It was hard to get. So right after the hurricane, maybe the day after the hurricane, all the people that did stay behind in the neighborhood, we got together. We took all the groceries out of the refrigerator, and everybody just came together, and we had a big barbecue on the block.
Wow.
Per se. Yeah, we had to cook the food before it went bad. So yeah, we cooked everything we had until, we didn't have anything left behind. Any drinks and stuff we had, everybody shared. So,
Because I know you used to living in there. Because
No, it's
no
it's gonna
refrigerator.
go right. It's gonna go bad. So yeah, we did that.
Okay. What's about water? Drinking water.
Yeah, we whatever we had that was there to drink, we drank that until it was nothing left, you know. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think some people who had cars in the neighborhood was able to go to some of the stores. I'm not saying it was right, but we was trying to survive. They had to go to some of the stores and
Loot.
take
Yeah.
water and
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah.
to bring it to us.
A lot of that happened in Grenada as well.
Yeah. And then mind you, I was pregnant, so I was needing medical attention, and I was dehydrated a lot, so I needed a lot of water and the right types of food to eat and stuff. So
Yeah. So the hurricane was in August. What month did your child born?
November.
So it was like right there.
Yes. Yes. I was miserable.
I mean, thank God. I mean, thank God that you're alive today.
Yes.
Thank God you moved from your house to your mom's house, because had you not done that, we don't know where you would have been today. So we
Right.
just have to say thank God you made that
Yes.
right
I thank him every day for that.
Because I think even they were asking people to evacuate and all that.
They were. And like I said before, you know, the other storms, they went the other way. So
And
it
that
was like,
one
what's
was-
going to make this one different?
And that one was going to track.
She tricked us.
Originally, the meteorologists,
Meteorologist.
yes, they tracked it to go another direction, but it made the turn later into New Orleans.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So let's talk about those on the other side of the river now. I mean, I guess it was terrible for them because they're in the water and they had a lot of rain. I mean, most of them
A
houses
lot of
were
people
covered.
died. Yeah.
A lot of, from what I heard, I think it was almost 2,000, because those who lived in the Mississippi area and those on that side, it was a lot of death.
Yes, it was. A lot of people on that side stayed behind as well. So I know there was a lot of elderly people, a lot of people that just couldn't get out, not because they didn't want to. New Orleans is a city, yes, people drive cars and stuff, have transportation, but New Orleans is a city that relies on public transportation, a lot of public transportation. So a lot of those people that stayed behind couldn't get out because they depended on public transportation. If they didn't have family that was taking them out of the city, then they were just stuck behind.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not that they didn't want to leave, it's because they couldn't leave. You understand? So
Because I remember even seeing people on the rooftop of their houses,
Yes.
days they
yes,
spent on the roof because they couldn't get down into the water.
yes.
Oh my God. I heard that your mom made news and all.
She did. She was actually they showed a clip of her praying
Thank
in
you,
a
God.
documentary. Yes.
How did you stay there after the hurricane?
Probably like, God,
A week?
I think it was probably like 5-6 days after the hurricane.
And
But
did
it
you
seemed
go-
much longer than that because it was like help wasn't coming, and we were just there. We were
That's in Gretna?
me and my family. No, me and my family actually was able to get a ride to the convention center, which is on the other side of the Mississippi. So I was in we were in Gretna,
It was
and
on this side.
so we were on this side of the river, and then on the opposite side is New Orleans, the city that got affected the most, and that's where the convention center was. So we were able to get to the convention center.
So why did you leave the good side that was less affected to go to the bad side?
Because that's where the buses were that were taking people out of the city to safety.
Oh, so the buses, they weren't coming on your side because
No, they
it
weren't
wasn't
coming
that
on my
bad.
side.
So you all tried to go over because
Mhm.
that's where they're, so that you all probably would have moved to what, another state or something?
They were just transporting people out wherever. Texas, Arkansas, Alabama, just wherever, just outside of Louisiana.
Okay.
And so we were able, not really outside of Louisiana, but outside of New Orleans, just so we were able to get somewhere safe.
Okay. So when you got over to the other side, did you leave the same day to wherever you all had to go, or you all had to wait?
No, we had to wait some more days.
So where did you stay?
So we stayed on the street
Oh my God.
in front of the convention center.
Ooh.
All right. Pregnant. 3 kids. No food.
3 girls.
Yes, no water. That I don't wish that on my worst enemy. That was a terrible nightmare, and I never want to experience it ever again. Yes, had to watch over my babies. I barely slept at night because we're out there with all these people. We don't know who we're around. People broke out of jail, so it was murderers out there, rapists. We just didn't know who we were around. So, of course, me being Mama Bear, I have to make sure my babies were protected at any cost. So if I didn't sleep, then that's just what it was. Just so I can make sure they were safe.
Amen to that.
Wow.
Mhm.
A couple of days after you left, where did you go?
A couple of days after we left, we actually got flown to Fort Smith, Arkansas, to a military base.
And you stayed there for...
We stayed there for a few days as well. Until my sister, I had my older sister, Deidre. She lived in Fresno, California. She got on a news station out there in Fresno, and she, was rallying. She was rallying people to help us because she was saying she couldn't find her family, and she got people to help us, and they sent for us, and we went to stay with her and her husband in their home. So yeah, it was like 20 of us in a 3-bedroom home. That was a difficult time with so many people in the house at one time. She had her own family and her own life, and then she's, trying to house at least 20 more people, So, yes, it was a difficult time because it was so many people in such a small space. So, but, I do thank my sister, truly thank my sister from the bottom of my heart for the time that she did help us after Katrina, her and her husband then. That was a big transition, But thereafter, the sun did shine again. We were able to move into our own places. Everyone who was there at my sister's house, we were all able to move into our own places, and we had help from a whole bunch of people. It was tremendous help. It was Philip Morris. It was Lynn Maloney and her husband. It was other people whose names I probably don't remember, but you know who you are. So my heart is so full and so thankful and grateful that y'all were able to help assist our family in our time of need.
Thank God. Well,
yes, I cannot forget to thank God. I thank Him every day.
Thank God.
But you mention
Thank
a
God.
name without, of course, we thank God.
Yes,
Yeah?
yes.
But you mention a name. That's a baseball player, isn't it?
Lynn Maloney,
Yeah.
her husband is a ex baseball player. He played for the Cincinnati Reds,
Yeah.
Mr. Jim Maloney.
Yeah, Sean taught me a lot of baseball, and that name rings a bell.
Your story is similar. I mean, yours is a lot worse, was similar to mine in Grenada with Ivan. I mean, my sister, myself, her kids, husband, that time. The Hurricane Ivan, the terror, as we refer to it as, after the massive devastation, we were wondering, well, they said it was going to pass Carriacou and not so much hit Grenada, but past Grenada and spared Carriacou.
Wow.
So my mom, she was wondering what's going on with us in Grenada. We were lost our connection, phones weren't working and anything like that. And people were wondering what's happening to them in Grenada. Because she'd been hearing stories, days we couldn't contact her.
Wow.
And then I remember a friend of my sister, he came over to the house. He was like, I'm going up to Carriacou now, what do you want to tell your mom? I'm like, I'm coming too.
Yes.
They said, well, the boat is going to be on water like 6-7 hours. It's a very slow boat. I was like, I'm coming too.
Right.
I took the ride. I mean, when I got into town, I remember my sister, she was working in supermarket in town at that time. And when I got there, I walked off the wharf and went to where she was working. When I looked there, because I expected to see Carriacou being more devastated than Grenada as well, because of the news before what we got before the hurricane.
Yes.
But when I walked out, I was like, nothing happened to Carriacou.
Oh wow.
And then I went across by the supermarket, and she was standing in front of the door.
And she just started crying.
With her hand folded, and when she saw me, she just broke down and she started crying.
She probably gave you a big hug.
Of course,
Oh my
of course.
God.
And then when I got, she called my other sister now to pick me up. And then when I got home, my mom, I remember her vividly well, sitting on the step with a plate of food, and she had her hands on her chin. And then when she saw me, oh my God, mommy started crying. She said, oh my God, I thought you died, and I didn't know what to think, and thank God. I mean, it was terrible. But I couldn't stay in Carriacou for long because my sister in Grenada now, we were living with the neighbors, and a lot of people similar to you were living with the neighbors as well. So we went down, my two brothers are carpenters, they went down with us, and they started rebuilding. Well, we went by my sister, got her, and the house was close by, as I said, my neighbor. So they stayed in the house there with us, but then rebuilded the house where we were staying, my sister's house. Rebuilded that, so within a couple of days we were able to go back in that house. But no electricity for months, water. I mean, it was a terrible experience that I don't even want to think about again. My mom, my sisters, they had to be sending bottles of water down to Grenada, drinking water for us, because we were out. Hurricanes,
so you know my pain. Yeah.
I know your pain, and I
boy.
understand your pain.
Yeah.
We just have to say thank God we are alive. We're here for a purpose.
Yes.
And
Most important.
it's not easy.
Wow.
So there is Ivan
We're
and
connected.
Katrina.
Katrina.
2004, 2005. We
Yes.
just connected them.
Of
So
course.
let's give a hug. We've come to the end of the interview. We just want to thank God for everything, and for sparing our lives.
Yeah, and warn them, folks. Pay attention when you get.
Yeah, when you get those warnings, pay heed to those warnings.
Take
no
heed,
longer,
please.
It
no
doesn't
longer.
matter if you go divert. Be prepared.
At
Just
all
leave.
times.
Just
Yeah.
leave anyway.
It's better
If you
to
could,
be prepared and the hurricane did not come than to
than to be
not
sorry.
prepare yourself and then you end up being sorry.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes. So anyway, in New Orleans, there's Mardi Gras.
Mhm.
All right. So
That's where I want to go.
yes. So these are some Mardi Gras beads for the Mardi Gras colors: purple, green, and gold. So I'm gonna present these to Miss Rena today, so she can take back home with her to Carriacou.
What is this? Well, I ain't getting beads. Look at how get something
You get a
different
jack.
That's for Miss Rena
from New Orleans. Well, you've never been to New Orleans, and I want to go into New Orleans so badly, and you get the treat.
Katrina
And
girl.
I've never been to Carriacou, but I'm coming.
You're coming.
I'm coming to
course.
Carriacou.
Very, very soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, we make
Yeah.
all the arrangements already. We just am telling all you. They're
She's
coming.
coming. And she'll be coming next year again for Auntie Man's 80th birthday.
Of course. Looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Surprise.
Oh, and I had some coconut. What is it?
Coconut drops.
Yes.
I had some
Not drops.
sugar cakes.
Sugar cake.
Sugar cakes from Miss Rena. Oh my God. Somebody come get her. Yeah.
Spoiling you with the sweet tooth.
Yeah, but they were very good. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, we brought the
Thank you,
carrot
thank
to
you.
Atlanta.
Of course.
I keep saying Atlanta, to Georgia.
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 All right, so thank you very much to everyone viewing this. Thank you to you, Naomi. Hug, thank you. When she picked us up at the airport and I shook her hand, she's like, no shaking hands,
No
Sabrina.
shaking hands,
We
no.
be hugging.
Yes.
There we
So
go.
thank you.
We hug out here. We family.
Right, so thank you very much. And thank you to all who are viewing all our videos. And as we say, if you know someone who wants to share their story, then link us up, contact us. Thank you very much again, and
Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.